until that stage. But two teams, they're going to smoke out right away here.
Yeah, we'll see if they decide to do a lane swap, which they definitely can. Lina's a very capable mid-hero. So if they want to do that way, that they put the Riki into the safe lane, got to make that decision pretty early on. And as you mentioned, both teams smoked up. Wildcard smoke already popped in the river, so they have indication that GRIN could be heading their way. But they are right next to Wake Me Up as well, inside that smoke, able to go behind the trees, and the smokes are popping. Vengeance is pretty deep in, but that Watcher, that's going to reveal GRIN's positions, and TiltedBoys, looks like they could be able to dodge this one. Wake Me Up, pop the mango. Okay, so he just burnt a mango right away.
Why you gotta do him like that? Do the man dirty. No one saw that. No one saw it.
Nobody saw it, yeah. I was just waiting for the meat hook, but no hook being used, at least yet. Maybe you get build up for the bounty rune. So we're heading for the last 10 seconds.
Oh, we gotta... Do they want to go for the hook on the rune? I think there's no reason not to try it.
Fertze could yoink the bounty behind, but it's also a pretty risky move. And they've caught themselves a Vengeful Spirit. Salivating Salamander, 37, taking a couple hits there. And Pango being isolated inside the shards, but it's going to be a pretty tricky one for them to get to. That also means our bounties are going to be split 2 for 2. And the game is underway. It's a best of 1, gents and ladies.
Yeah, maybe explains why the early mango pop. There's a lot of nerves here. This is for TI. All these players have not been in the situation to play for a TI yet, so it can be a bit nerve-wracking, especially in a best of 1 situation. Can we take a minute to appreciate, though, Salivating Salamander 37's name? Steel Anime S2. He has the biggest name I've ever seen, I think. Or the longest name.
Yeah, I think the only one that would go into comparison is probably one of the Chinese players' names if they weren't written in letters, because they're usually made out of like long sentences. You just can't stick into the game screen.
Yeah. Either way here, we'll see how the lanes end up going here. Mid lane, I did notice that Rojo Fireflu did make some early aggression with the blink strikes, getting the Pango fairly low there. So this Riki matchup, maybe doing a little bit better than I expected it to do already. Already off to a great 6-3 start, only to the 4-0 of Pango here.
Yeah, pretty high right-click damage as well, plus the blink strike on top, adding that extra 40 bonus damage. Should be able to see us pretty well, able to dodge the swashbuckles, playing it really well versus Wildcard so far in this. One thing we didn't really talk about was, like, we talked about roster changes for sure, but TiltedBoys, they were reinforced with Monkeys Forever. We know this guy's been around at some of the classiest, fanciest NA teams that have been around there. Very highlighted player, very liked player as well in terms of a lot, so he's definitely a powerful add to the team, but Muzi is going to get the first blood for GRIN off of Doors Undying.
Yeah, maybe just overstepping his boundaries just a little bit there. Oh, this tag team buff is a little interesting. They made it so it reduces enemy attack speed now as an aura by considerable amount. I've yet to see this hero in action. I've been playing quite a bit of Dota, but I haven't had the pleasure to see anyone pick Tusk yet.
That's a lot of stuff.
Carry.
When you think about it, you've got aura attack speed slow. You talked about the Vengeful Spirit having that attack damage reduction. Morphling's not going to enjoy a lot this game.
No, definitely not. And you're not moving very much too with these right clicks coming on top of you there. So we'll see what this lane can do here. Yeah, I think for the most part though, this Morph is doing well in the lane. He is free farm. Of course, Vino got the first blood, which isn't great, but this isn't going to be a lane where you can pressure the Morphling. You can Gale him all you want. You can Ice Shard him, but at some point he's going to have the shift available. And maybe he might have to go for an early point in the waveform as well, just to get out of the Ice Shards. But that's not something you necessarily want to do as a Morphling, but you might be forced into it.
Also a very good hero in the lane, considering Lotuses too. So you can just go all the way to max Agi, pop that Lotus, start going into strength gain, so you get yourself like a good extra pump of regeneration.
Oh, hook on top lane.
But the top lane is going to be a bit of a fight. Salivating Salamander taking a lot of hits here, and Wake Me Up will survive the initial engagement, and Soul has to deal with Monkeys Forever as the DP just being a bit of a nuisance onto Soul. He is kind of out of spells for the time being. Long cooldown for Spirit Siphon, so it's just a right-click battle. Lina has to pop the Lotus, nevertheless. And a tie-up kill hook. Oh, that's a good attempt. Doesn't quite hit the marker, though.
Sorry, he already hit when he needed to. If we look back to when Lina was super... So I got 2 points. The one thing when Lina was super popular back in the day is... The one thing that killed her heroes like Primal Beast, Nature's Prophet, when you can get on top of her, this lane can be scary. If Pudge ends up hooking Lina even at one time, this hero will die. And he's trying. He's got plenty of like regen. I'm sure he's going to ferry some more out there. But he's going to keep going for these hooks. And I guarantee you at least one of these is going to hit eventually.
Still going to be a bit until we get those first power runes onto the map. 1.5 minutes to go for that marker. See a lot of rotations happening around the map, and who gets the biggest benefit out of that too? Right now, CS is still being pretty evenly divided around the map. Maybe the Veno falling a bit behind, but did get that first blood, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Still going for the urn.
And this is what I'm worried about the Ricky mid a little bit. Like, he was doing well in the early stages because this hero doesn't buy a bottle, doesn't push lanes out. You see Pango. He's got the water rune in the bottle, the lane's pushing in. Now Rojo Fireflow is in a little bit of trouble here with the pressure that you can apply here. As this Pangolier.
Also missing
going to keep getting low.
And yeah, Wildcard's now kind of toying with him as well. He sees he wants that range creep. He'll just land a swashbuckle on top of him instead of the other way around.
Oh, the hook hit on the Lina.
Top lane, the Lina being chased around a bit, and Soul, he's going to be in trouble. That could be a Lina falling down, and that's your carry dead. Wake Me Up to take the kill. Extended a bit too far with that hook from Wake Me Up.
And this is where you start to wonder, like, was these lane swats appropriate? Because if you're a Ricky and you get hooked, right? You have 2 ways to kind of get back with the tricks of the trade, with the blink strike. Your positioning doesn't really matter. You can also kind of get away from the ability of being spirit siphoned with these set abilities. And Lina, you're guaranteed to win mid no matter what. What they're trying to do here is be a bit greedy. Try to win 2 of these.
Try to win 2, yeah.
And they're, unfortunately, yeah, mid's going well, but is it going well enough to justify what's happening to this Lina on the top lane? I don't think so.
Something that you got to salvage pretty early on into the game, because it's not paying off at the moment. It's working to some extent. It's not a complete disaster, but it's already a deficit. You need to try and pull together. Ferte's still enjoying his free farm. Muzi not really getting too much bullying out of that. And so the Tusk's XP is also falling because of that. Not enough brawling, not enough fighting for him to get experience.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you look at the Pudge is already level 4, the others are level 3.
Tusk
They're trying to rotate to the top lane.
Needed.
Stun to BP, Wake Me Up coming into the help. Trying to get this Vengeful Spirit. Vengeful Spirit might be the one to drop first, but Monkey still battling it out. 1 kill going their way. Anybody else coming into the help? No, they're just going to fight it all the way as the 2 of them. Bright side about to drop, but Wake Me Up blocked by the creeps. Gets a double kill and still fighting towards Soul. Monkey's coming back in and almost gets the kill there, but the infused raindrops will kick in. And here comes Ricky. Rojo Fireflow with the TP. Rotation, but it's not going to be enough damage to take down the DP. So Soul getting his first kill, surviving that battle is pretty huge for the Lina, but both supports fall.
That was very unfortunate for Brightside there. If you watched, he got the shards off, but he was trapped in the trees. He popped the tag team, but he wasn't close to him. He got pathing blocked, so that extra damage from the tag team, the Tusk slowing the attack speed, it just wasn't there. And the worst part about it all is he was getting hit by a Spirit Siphon the entire time, healing the DP without really applying any type of damage himself. So Monkey's forever a little bit lucky there to get out of that one alive, and been even more lucky by dragging the Ricky as well to that top lane. At least Ricky got a Lotus out of it, but not exactly what he was looking for. 8-minute runes. Okay. He hooked his own Pango away from getting the rune.
Happens. Muzi's down though. Ferte finds a freebie for himself. Takes down the Venomancer. Also a couple extra Serpent Wards for extra gold. Why not? There's an Arcane Ricky, though. They'd like to get some benefit out of this, but this rotation will be spotted in a matter of sec. Oh, they smoked on the edge of the ward. Not sure if that animation reaches far enough for the Morphling to know. But here the Ricky ping's already coming out from Volotka and Ferte under the tower, so no gank kill for the time being.
You might get the courier, though. Salivating Salamander?
Nope. Salivating past his luck.
We did. That would have been a really big courier snipe if we could have got it. Removing that helm from the morph really would slow down his farming progression. Going for this helm means he most likely doesn't want to go for a Lincoln's. Probably be your traditional just Manta build. Maybe a Falcon Blade in between if he really wants to. But this morphing is getting really big. And one of the changes that we might see come into effect this game that they made on the Riki in the most recent B patch is the smoke screen no longer lingers. Before it lingered for 0.5 seconds. And when you're a Morphling, that 0.5 seconds of being silenced, even when you're out of the cloud, could cost you your life. But now he just needs to get out of it, and he can start shifting immediately. Items that he should be looking for is, I think, no-brainer. You probably go for this Manta, because Veno's going to go for a Vessel. And there's a lot of things you can dispel, but Hurricane Pike at some point might be a necessity to get away from this Riki. But there's going to be a timing here for TiltedBoys, where Rojo Fireflu on his Riki Maru will have a Diffusal Blade, and he will be the strongest hero on the map, without a doubt. And he's on his way towards there. He's already got a bunch of small items. He's already super strong. But if they can weather that storm on TiltedBoys here, they, in my opinion, by far have the superior late game, better scaling, and the game is going really well. So this Riki has to do a lot of work here, along with the supports.
Yeah, those diffusal timings. The Pango's also 100 gold behind the Riki right now, so their timings are going to be somewhat similar. Plus that Orb of Corrosion will help out if this Morphling or even the DP are going to be fighting early. Death Prophet already 1, 0, and 3. So part of 4 out of the 5 kills for TiltedBoys. Monkeys Forever getting himself a good show, good start for this TI run. Reminding this is also a BO1, so one of the things that you mentioned that not necessarily always translates to the audience is this is literally, this could be your one and only game in TI, so the nerves are high. So there's going to be a lot of mistakes, a lot of shakiness from time to time, and you can almost see it happen, especially with those rotations. You know, when do we smoke? We got to make it happen. If it doesn't, how does that hurt your mentality? How do you keep up the balance? These aren't your tier 1 teams, but they would want to be someday.
Right. It's like, it's not like at TI, but it's like, it is TI, right? It's like you are playing a TI qualifier. The name is behind it, the prestige. You are playing this for a chance to play at TI. And I think that already is kind of nerve-wracking for a lot of players. And I wouldn't be surprised to see if these games drag out, if we see some very high intensity or low turtle games. I think you get one of the two. Either you get hyper aggression because you don't know what to be doing on the map because your nerves are high, or you just don't do anything.
Yeah.
And it's not until later where you look at the replays and you're just like, oh, yeah, why were we playing like that? So I don't know why we played like that. We never play like that in scrims. And it really just comes down to you're a bit nervous.
Yeah, stuff just happens. Are high. And some of the things you can't really judge. You're like, well, I was thinking about this and that in that particular moment, but the focus needs to be super high. And I think in terms of GRIN, you look at Lina building into that Maelstrom, already has a Javelin, the Falcon Blade already built on top.
Right.
Like, this hero needs to get an early impact, but it's one that you can't afford to let go. She's already died once in the lane. You got a killing spree streak off of your opponent's Pudge, which kind of helped you still stay on top of, like, well, you're not drowning. You're still on top of the surface, and you want to stay there. But with that Maelstrom, you get that good first rotation that leads into multiple kills. It's a big win condition for GRIN to get control of the game.
We'll have to see. I need, like, I don't have any good thoughts right now about this carry Lina. I did have some positive I did have some positive thoughts about playing the mid Lina, going with the new Dragon Slave and how it does burn damage over time, but like they kind of made it so this level 1 Dragon Slave is not really a great spell anymore.
There's going to be an ill awakening as they get the rotation to connect on the big target hero, but Pudge is TPing in. He could just hook him out, but not needed. Ferte will survive. That silence doesn't last for long enough to get the kill. Almost gets the connection there with the hook, but GRIN, that's not going to be a successful gank. Ferte lives.
Yeah, luckily enough to get the tribute shift, but he is low now, round 2. But I can see why. Okay. This guy, I see why he picked Morph. He knows his way around his Morphling.
You didn't see that.
One thing I look for when I watch Morphling players is like, you have to have situational awareness, and a lot of it, to know when to be high HP, when to be low HP. He knew that Ricky could be around, so he was constantly just shifting up and down. Sure, you can get caught when the situation shifting down a little bit, but just making sure HP is high enough that if one solo Ricky went on you, you'll be fine there. But Smoke going on top lane, Grandmaster Pudge coming in. So, it was a good attempt. Soul decided to just randomly stop farming that. So he did notice that Smoke was coming, got back out.
Yeah.
But they're not done here. This is a level 6 Pudge, and this is a bootless Lina.
That wasn't too right.
This looks pretty... I mean, I think you just walk up to this.
Not going to run very fast for sure, and that's going to be a connection. If they failed the first take gank, they make Soul's death happen, and that's a carry taken away. Most on top of that is Monkeys Forever getting that kill. Look at his net worth. He's scooting up. He's scooting past everybody right now at a fair margin.
He's a monster, that's for sure. I'm going for the Yules build this game. Interesting choice. I'm wondering. I'm not sure what the DP build is right now. This hero has kind of not been.
Wind Waker Rush, yay!
Wind Waker Rush.
Yeah, push them
is
out.
Is that real?
Probably somewhere.
Somewhere.
In
okay.
somebody's thoughts, there's always someone who's like, "Yep, that's the way to go." I mean, Yules could make sense if like Ricky's that big power of damage that they get into the fight. Maybe even Lina isolated for the time where the smoke screen is on top of the Morphling. But this is already like thinking about these couple things need to happen. Maybe even a hook setup. Like, does wake me up.
Yeah. Sure. It gives you mana, move speed as well. It pretty much gives you a lot of things that you need on the Death Prophet.
Yeah.
But when I think of heroes like Ricky, you're oftentimes thinking like Force Staffs, BKBs, something to kind of get you out of the smoke screen. You kind of Yules yourself and you're still sitting in the smoke screen. So it doesn't really help in that regard. But it can take off like the Purge from the Diffusal Blade. So when he does land, he can kind of just walk on out. So that is a possibility. But either way, he's just like so far ahead, he might just be +1 item up on top of everyone anyway, that it might not matter. And I think GRIN realizes that they're going to smoke on out with that Venomancer, with that Vengeful Spirit and the Tuskar, making the Charger. With that Vessel online, could be a big kill if they can get Monkeys Forever. But the Yules is online.
Kill. It's just like one of those moments that you kind of have to make it work. But can they get this kill? There's the Yules coming out to play.
Still in the smoke.
Monkeys Forever alive a bit longer, but he's finally taken out of play. And Door is going to be the next target that they focus on. They get the Tombstone out of the way too, an extra up 175. And then the second kill to follow. So GRIN Esports, successful gank. What they really needed to happen after the failure on the Morphling before. Now they get 2+ Tombstone.
That's kind of what I was mentioning about that Yules, right? He Yules himself, takes off the everything, but comes back down. He's still sitting in the smoke screen. Blink Strike still does apply a slow, so you just can double Blink Strike him, and you're not getting any siphons off. So is it the right choice to go this Yules? I don't know. Maybe a BKB would be better. That way he can frontline for his team, because he might need to. Might just need to be a game of positioning, where if Monkeys Forever gets caught, he's just going to die. He thinks going for Pipe is going to be the approach here. He's just going to be tanky. But if they choose to focus him, he has no way to get out of the silence, as Force Staffs aren't even being built for his team right now. Pudge wants a blink. Glimmer Cape is on the menu here for the dying, but I think perhaps one Force Staff might be a necessity here.
A lot of activity towards the bottom lane. Bright side hiding inside the tree line. They're already going straight for the Tusk. Almost getting a connection from Wake Me Up, but Rojo sitting under the tower. We're looking at the Morphling for a bit. The Yules is coming out from Monkeys Forever. Does get the silence connection as well. Pudge is the one to fall, though, as GRIN Esports to respond for the kill. Maybe they can't get a second kill, but they're able to be counter-aggressive, or at least defensive there to save their teammates' lives. Get another kill on the books.
This Ricky is destroying them with his smoke screen right now.
Without
Canceling Dismember there. Yeah, without Diffusal Blade. And he's even falling pretty far behind because he's running around. I'd like to see him try and... I don't know, maybe this is the way you do have to play, given the way their draft kind of functions with this Lina that's this far behind. You've got a Venomancer who doesn't really make any plays. I think he actually does have to just keep running at them. Diffusal Blade is on the way, but it gave time for Pango to already finish his Diffusal with the DD on top of it, in comparison to the mid laners here. But the smoke screen has been clutch. It has got them a couple kills here on that Pudge, stopping the Dismember, and of course on the Death Prophet in the top lane. Got to keep it rolling. The really question comes down to is how reliable is this Lina going to be? That's my question. I'm not so
That's
sure.
a good question.
Because she's taking all the space. Ricky's making a lot of space. But can this hero carry the game?
Good old be-all and all carry. However, talking about another carry, Ferte and the boys heading towards the Roche pit for an early 16-minute Roshan, which they can definitely do. GRIN is not reading this at all. They're focusing on a tier 1 tower, expecting TiltedBoys to maybe respond back to them. But TiltedBoys, they weren't successful with 1 or 2 fights that they've had late in the past few minutes, so they're just going to dodge their opponents, get the Aegis, more farming time for Ferte.
Yeah, he chose to take the Aegis on the Morphling. To me, that signifies that the Morph wants to get active in the fights. Generally, if you see the carry not take the Aegis here, it means he doesn't want to
TPs.
farm.
They're coming in to defend this one. Pudge is already here. We've got more coming in. They've already thrown out the Dragon Slave. Pudge hooks out the Lina. Lina preemptively stuns the Pudge. Wake Me Up goes down. They're going to lose the Undying as well. And there's your Aegis. Velotka trying to salvage the situation with the Rolling Thunder moving around, but they got the DP in middle as well. Monkeys Forever already vesseled up. Has that Yules. They're fighting on the side. Souls barely surviving.
How's he still alive?
As well, 40 HP. Meanwhile, Rojo throwing in the hit.
He
as well.
turned
The
it.
Laguna Blade, another dodge. Is it going to be enough? The right click finally finishes him off. But Monkeys Forever versus Ricky. Is Monkeys Forever going to be the final end boss, the raid boss, the fight against Salamander? Stuns the creep. Doesn't matter. They're going to finish off Monkeys Forever. They did lose the Lina, but they lost a whole lot more in TiltedBoys.
I'd be a tilted boy after that one if I was on Radiant, that's for sure. Like, you get that hook immediately, and they had no detection for Ricky. Yet again, the smokescreen destroys them. Like, you hook in the Lina, but there's a smokescreen there, silencing multiple heroes. And Morph, he TPs into a smokescreen, instantly loses the Aegis just to a Walrus punch. And yeah, then he dies immediately after there too. Some good moves there by the Lina. I thought he may have TP'd out when he was hiding in the trees there, but decides to just turn.
Look at the timing. Look at the Lina stun timing here. Hook stun, instant, same time. Punch does nothing. Plus the silence on top as well.
Yeah,
so.
look at that smoke screen. So
Beautiful.
Good. This Ricky has been a big issue, and this is where you're really kicking yourself. Like, oh, maybe I should have had a sentry on the ground if I'm Pudge here to see this Ricky. If you get a dismember on this Ricky to start this fight, maybe this is a completely different fight here. And this is what I'm talking about, the Lina. Just sitting there. She could have TP'd here. Decides to turn here. Not only Bates gets the Pango kill, but this also gets the DP kill. Of course, she loses her life for this, but her life ended up in 2 more kills, which I would say is completely worth it in this situation.
Also, at the same time where they were dealing damage, Ferte was trying to run away. He's like, I've got nothing, boys. I'm trying to make my way out. Waveforms out, but still dies to the tick damage and basically just falls on the side of the fight. But this Morphling, he got a... I wouldn't even say he got a good start to the fight. He did what he could, and then he just fell off completely. Boys, I got a strength gain. I need to get on the move. I need to get out of here, and I'm dead. 4K lead for
too
GRIN.
early.
Yeah.
It's too early for Morph to have much of an impact in this game. Like, he wants to come in later on in the fights. He doesn't want to be the first one in there. And it's just an unfortunate situation where, let's just say, we say this a lot in Dota. He got unlucky. He did get a bit unlucky. Where he chose to TP was unfortunately directly into a smokescreen. But he already started his TP in that situation. He wants to be able to join the fights after they started. Ideally, they get a hook, followed up by a roll. Once the hero gets a bit lower, then the Morphling can commit. And I also think Morphling probably needs a point in his ultimate pretty soon here. That way he can turn into a Tusk and have some more impact into this game. Or I mean, he can turn into any of these heroes. He can turn into Ricky for all I care and drop his own smoke screen. But that'll be definitely a big tool that they could use to help team fight. Right now, his build is not oriented towards team fighting. It's mainly just for getting bigger, farming, surviving ganks. And there's a hook onto Muzi.
Well, let's see what they can do with this. Muzi quite deep inside the base.
Oh, he just got a force that
able to get this one. Misses the swashbuckle as well. Throws the rod out.
No way, no way.
He does TPs out. Throws his middle fingers into the air. I'm out, boys.
His Force Staff literally just got delivered on Courier to get him out of there. He had the presence of mind to use the Atos on the Rolling Thunder to cancel it and TP immediately. And meanwhile, Monkeys Forever, he's just going to go directly into a silence here, but luckily the Rolling Thunder will be here.
Ruh-oh, or Roho, Fire Fluey gets blown up right away. Right side, take the fight to Monkeys Forever, but this Tusk is just buying time for the rest to escape. Salivating Salamander, oh, wake me up! At the same time as the Tusk falls, Pudge walks into the camp and he hooks a Centaur. Unable to cancel the teleport off of the Venge, but still 2 kills for TiltedBoys. GRIN, well, they weren't grinning too much after that successful TP. They decided to stay and fight anyway. Wasn't the right call.
Definitely wasn't. Sometimes you gotta take risks like that in Dota. Be like, okay, our Veno TP'd out. We can burst this DP. Let's do it. But unfortunately, with that Yules being there, that was just a dream, not a reality. And unfortunately, they did turn that pretty quickly there by having Pango available with that Rolling Thunder to go and chase them down.
And so it comes to pass. 21 minutes played. GRIN's 4K lead now half to 2K. Still anybody's game at the moment. GRIN trying to repel the invaders out of their side of the map. That tier 2 tower will hold. Venge is actually pretty bloody close to getting an Ags. Very, very farmed support, if you ask me.
Well, I would agree with your statement that this is a very farmed Venge. And if he does manage to get that, I mean, both the supports, honestly, are really farmed. If you look at the Tusk as well, just look at the net worth disparity. You got 6K on the Tusk, you got 4K or 5K on the Venge, 3.8 and 2.9 on the opposing side.
I guess I should say that this Tusk is really farmed because his Venge is, you know, it's just an Aghanim's Rush with brown boots. So that is definitely something to note. The supports are falling in behind. But then again, you got your Pango in a good position. Monkey's Forever had a good start to the game, so he's already got his, you could say, pre-game farm already built up there. He decided not to go for the hood and got himself a cloak into the Force Staff. So they've really now understood the importance of that Force Staff this game.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And I think he clicked his support. Getting a Force Staff anytime soon here. And yeah, as our wonderful observers pointing out here, that the Shard on the Riki will stop the Force Staff plays, but only for allies on them. And still Force Staff yourself out.
Middle tower is under attack.
So Monkey's Forever, he's just going to take care of it himself.
Now, let's see what the next move is coming out from GRIN, because they're already playing aggressive. There's no tier 2 tower in the bottom lane to take anymore, so they have to put their attention towards the triangle area, which currently is occupied by TiltedBoys. They've left this bottom lane completely, and you don't really want to go high ground push at 22 minutes either with this kind of lineup. It's literally just Alina who hits buildings, and that's where the Pudge gets really good. Already seen a couple of good hooks coming out from Wake Me Up as they take the Tormentor.
I mean, they're working on it. That's for sure. This is one of a pretty depressing Tormentor take, I think, here. Tormentor is really not an objective in Dota that you really seek out very much, just because of how annoying it is to do and where on the position of the map it is. But when you're in the position that TiltedBoys is right now, you might as well do it, because you're kind of being choked into your base regardless. But the one thing I do like about this patch compared to previous patches is if you look where Morphling's at on the map, he can just farm on like the edges of the map. He's on the top side of the map there, just TP'd mid. But either way, just having so much freedom to just farm even though the enemy has map control is a really nice way to kind of like not feel like you're just AFK in base all the time. And I think that's what 7.3 has really like given us.
Might be able to catch a Vengeful Spirit at the bottom half of the map for Lotka. Just a bit too far away to catch him. There's no information about the Venge farming camps next to your base.
I didn't realize as well, but the Venge also has an Ag Shard on top of almost having an Ags. That's really gonna like, that spell is really annoying. I've had the pleasure of playing against that quite a bit. Just these random magic missiles hitting you. Just like this random gank is about to hit the Venge.
Oh, okay, they found him.
I mean, he's just, you know, he bought his Blade Alacrity. He doesn't care. His team's farming the whole map here.
Yep,
sure,
dying on the enemy side of the map. That's always a good death.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like no death is particularly good this patch, but if you're talking about a death to be not so bad, that's definitely going to be one of them. Because you're going to see the net worth not change much. You're not going to see objective being taken because of that death. So it's totally fine here. And I do like what Lina is doing here with her build. She has a Daedalus up now. It's going really farmed here. Oh, they're going to get the Tusk.
Themselves a Tusk. All right.
So this is where you got to be careful. Remember I said deaths aren't so bad. Once one death turns into another death, and then turns into another death, that's when things get pretty bad.
Well, look at mid. Might just be another death coming out. They already popped the dust onto him, so he's actually turning around and killing the bunch himself. So actually gets a kill instead of dying. Might as well.
I gotta call it monkeys forever there, unfortunately.
Oh,
I mean, did he have Manta there? I mean, he missed the silence.
He just got it off the courier. He just
yeah, no, okay. Monkeys forever didn't get the silence off before the Ricky got the silence, and that caused them to not get the kill.
Let's see
little
what we
mistake
can do
there.
Here. Smoking towards the top half of the map with a half HP Ricky. Balotka expecting something going on here. Monkeys forever targeted. Rojo Fire Flu already going on him right away. The tricks of the trade going to be popping. Still going to be hit by the stun, and this Ricky Manta dodge not going to be enough. He's still going to get blown up, and so is this Venge. And TiltedBoys, they've just been handed out these kills. Wake me up on the hunt. The hook doesn't quite connect. The force staff there from Muzi. Push his soul away. And Roshan's also coming back home. 45 seconds. It's not quite on the marker, but if it was already up, this could have been fantastic for TiltedBoys. But as you can see, the aggression move coming out here.
What are they thinking here? I'm not entirely sure. Like, he knows he has a Yules. This is his first item. They're going with 2 heroes. They're not chain stunning him. They just saw the Morphling on top lane because Tusk died to him.
And that was a
this
half
game's
HP.
A little weird really fast.
Not playing to their strengths.
Most definitely. We're just getting some raw Dota here. So we're just playing some Dota here. We're making some calls. And this is the definition of trying to play too fast. At some point, you need to settle down, realize it's 26 minutes into the game. You have a carry player. This man has a... Use him.
Straight out of the pubs, you know, like, oh, we have a carry in this game. It's been gone for 25 minutes.
I mean, that's a sweet spot for carry players, right?
Yeah.
25 minutes.
That's when they usually show up.
That's usually when they're useful.
GRIN Esports going to have to pass out another Roshan. This time it's a Cheese and an Aegis. The Cheese going for the Pango and Morphling. He's a heck of a lot stronger now than he was last time. Crystallis Scotty built up since the last time he had an Aegis.
Yeah, I like his build this game too. This build is going to make it so he can lift the Silver Edge. Not completed yet, but he's getting very close to it. Get on top of the Lina. And then when he gets on top of the Lina, he has the Scotty. And the Scotty is going to allow him to just stay on the Lina. And Lina will die very quickly to this. And I think this BKB that Lina has queued up, I am so happy to see it because right now, Scotty does not work on debuff immune targets. So even if Morph gets on top of you, you press BKB, you can just walk away. You are no longer slowed. Attack speed and movement speed are unaffected. So this will be a really big pickup. I think it's much needed when you play for Scotty. And this is one of the reasons why we don't see a ton of Scotty nowadays. But then again, we're seeing it more and more because people are buying less BKB. But either way, moral of the story is BKB good versus Scotty now. Never used to be the case, is now.
A lot of aggressive moves here from TiltedBoys as they're trying to cover some of this area for themselves. Mid's already pushing in. Bottom, still a lane that they don't care about that too much. It's going to be constantly pushed in. The easier side for GRIN to play. No engagement yet. But this could also mean they could just push out towards that bottom tier 2 if they really want to fight. They've got the Cheese, they've got the Aegis, but a bit of an advantage going their way. And GRIN's just going to have to find that good opening to the fight, just like they did last time in that bottom tier 2 tower. Perfect smoke screen placement. Still yet to see any BKBs on the side of TiltedBoys, so they're just going to have to fight through it.
Pango has the BKB.
Oh, the Pango has one. Well, he's got Rolling Thunder anyway.
Well, he that's his way of getting out of smoke screen. Which is kind of what I was looking for TP to do, but it's fine. But they're on TiltedBoys, they're going to go take the enemy Tormentor. We'll see how that goes to. Going to go ahead and go, so we got Grab Ally save now, or Bunker, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, good old Grab Ally. Love that spell name.
It's a good one. So that is available now, which is actually quite good against the Ricky. If someone is getting bursted, you can save them real quick with that one. And they're just going to go high ground now.
Straight up siege towards the high ground. That tier 3 already taken almost 50% of HP. Now over that, as well as the illusions continue to pummel their way through. And that's all they need to do. Force them back in, move out. We've done the damage.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Okay, we got some big items coming out here. Smoke is coming online. The big item that has been purchased right now is Sight the Vice for the Venomancer. Gonna smoke out with that. With Atos, they could do a swap into a Hex combination here. Maybe kill this Morphling immediately one time. Looking to bait the illusion here of the Riki. Swap Hex combo could be really good.
Wolvenge has found the Undying. They used the swap right away. They want to initiate on it to him, but it's not going to be successful. Pud's going to be blinking in as well. And the big fight happens. Wake Me Up's going to be falling. They've got the bunker placed down as well. They're not going for the Venomous Gale. And this Venge is almost falling, but the Axe is up. And look at that! Fertze's down. Volodka about to drop as well, but the VK be able to get out for the time being. But Monkey's forever. He's going to get kicked away from the fight. And GRIN, they reset. They reset the fight. They lost Venge, but that illusion is still back in play. And that Aegis burnt. He's burnt.
They want more. Can they find Monkey Sir? Nope. Force stuff out.
Still have the exorcism running, but it's going to be off in a couple seconds. Venge unable to locate a target.
So I really like what GRIN did there. The execution was quite sloppy, to be real here, but the idea was good. Like, they should get that swap immediately into a Hex that's pre-clicked, and that Undying would just be dead. And then they can continue the fight there. He still had a pretty decent usage of the Hex there. He used it on the Pango towards the end of the Rolling Thunder there, but unfortunately unable to get the burst, gets the BKB off. But it's kind of to show you, like, the power of their lineup right now. And it's all about this Venge, I think. This Venge into Hex combination is going to be how they should be taking most all their fights. And ideally, honestly, it doesn't matter who they grab. I think if they kill anyone, even if they just kill Undying right away, because Undying is a save. If you're going to remove him from the game right away, that would be totally fine. But the game is dead even.
Is, like, when we head towards the late game parts of the game on the Venge 25 talent, which one do you want more? You've already got damage reduction on Wave of Terror. Shouldn't you just buff up your Lina to be the big carry that we've kind of been debating on? Just buff up the Lina's right-click damage with that aura?
25 talents, another swap damage reduction? Yeah, you don't want that. You want to die anyway. Yeah, you definitely get the 16% aura.
Dire's structures
I think it's plus and minus. I'm not entirely sure. Oh yeah, it's 16%.
It's like extra on top of what's already there. So
yeah.
44% extra damage for the Lina. Lina already does a decent amount of damage right now, but it's going to be higher, but the hook's going to be connecting. Instant swap save. That's, you know, he was suspecting something bigger to happen, but they're able to walk out. Nobody lost.
Got a tier 3. Force Tombstone got tier 3. They were taking advantage of the fact that TP had an ultimate, but guess what? TP has ultimate now. Now, if you're in a situation for TiltedBoys, you could consider going. But looking at their inventories, they have no smokes available. 2 wards on Pudge. Perhaps this ward placement here might end up... Okay, they pinged it.
Yeah, ward placed down. I think they saw him place it down, so...
Venge has a sentry.
The good old bait the Pudge into hooking? Nah, I'll let it go.
I mean, you can tell here that TiltedBoys are very uncomfortable. Their resources they have to take this fight are quite limited. They don't have those smokes. They're trying to get wards down. GRIN, they want to go here. Venge with this Aghanim's leading the charge here.
Morph is still running home, yeah.
He wants to swap someone. And I think Venge should just play this much more aggressively. Don't let him go on your Lina.
Oh, Tusk goes in. There we go. They got the kick on the Pudge. Pudge is gone.
No
deleted. And they will look for this Pango as well. Look at Soul go! Hammering away with those big fireballs and takes down another. Now Monkeys Forever has to retreat. Keeps that gem intact. The Venge might drop, but he's still back in action. They don't care about that. They don't mind about it at all. 2 big kills. And that high ground is defenseless.
Definitely have a feeling in your stomach right now for TiltedBoys. This is the end of our TI run. It's not looking good. It's not over. But that's a major blow, not only to confidence, but structural damage here. As they're going to play it safe and not even finish the range tracks there. But damage has been done there. I think more than anything, the Pango just realizing that I can't even roll in there. Lena's just going to two-shot me. I wasn't sure if this Lena was the right pick. Could it be a hard carry? Guess with this Venge behind him, it can. The damage is unreal.
Very, very high damage output. And the start for the fight as well. You were waiting for the Venge to be aggressive. It was Brightside instead. He blinks in, goes for the Walrus kick. Pudge dies in like less than a second as Soul just hammers away those big right clicks straight onto the Pudge, who has, what, 4+4 armor. Literally 4 armor.
4+4.
Yeah, it was the aura buff from the tower that was the +4, so he's just 4 armor.
I was going to say 4+4, it's not 4, my friend.
It was 4 for a second, but it turned into 5.
We're in NA, so we're doing NA math. Yeah.
Let's see what happens next. Wake me up, goes for the hook. They've got the Venge to start things off with, but he's going to return into action. And that's just a kill. Nothing changes.
Yep.
Oh, they forced him back, actually.
Oh, he bought back for that. I think he misclicked as this whole team is laughing.
Well, Rojo's quote there, you didn't see that coming. Well, we did not see that one coming. A retreating buyback.
I mean, his spirit was still alive too, so like a buyback there didn't really make much sense. Like, I could have seen that being a good play if they went on his spirit, almost killed it. Then
exactly. Yeah,
right.
That's what I thought.
But that was
Oh, Ferte with the Shadow Walk and also Monkeys Forever right in between. They see the Ricky illusion running around. They know that's not him. He's giving him some information. And on the left side, they see Ferte. Brings in the North. And the illusion, but the kick comes out. The BKB pop instantly, waveforming away. Ferte down to half HP, regenerating a bit, but Brightside in trouble. And now they're really in trouble inside the GRIN. Can they fight this back? The Ferte's already taken 2, and they're going to take down the Venge as well, who literally just bought back. So they're going to lose 3. Monkeys Forever now being fought back by Rojo Fireflu, and Ferte is going to finish off that Venge Spirit. And he's not coming back for 70 seconds. And hey, would you look at that, who's home? We're back. The party's here.
Big Daddy's home. I mean, they're going to lose their range barracks for that, but no one really cares about that as you end up getting there. You can see TiltedBoys, they could, like, taste victory, it feels like.
Yeah, after almost losing the TI run.
Getting a little, I'm not going to say a little sloppy, really sloppy there. Because I just want to see some clean execution. I want to see this Hex and Vino. Sure, Walrus kick him back into a Hex. That's fine. Swap into Hex, that's even better. But none of that really happened. He kind of Walrus kicked him back, then Morph's like, all right, I'll press BKB and just kill you now. And that's exactly what happened. Lena wasn't there to right-click him at all.
Hal turned the tables. Ricky, Detection Boys.
I mean, they didn't see that. That is true.
A lot of things have been unseen.
Not seen, yeah. Not unseen.
Oh, not seen. That's true.
Just not seen. I guess similar, but either way. Yeah, the game's getting a bit wild here. We have a Aegis on the Morphling. Can they go on him here?
Yes, they can. They've done it. They have done it before.
We didn't see that coming yet again.
Returning back to the fray. Ferte lives.
I think he would have died if he dusted right away.
Yeah.
The damage from the Lena was too much.
Bit momentary. Things have already been secured, and then panic. Yeah, there's a lot of panic in this game for sure. Both teams are quite on edge.
I mean, yeah, they're both like, you can taste victory if you're GRIN after that bottom fight. Then you lose that fight, and then you lose the Aegis, and now TiltedBoys can kind of like taste the victory. So both these teams, as the score indicates, it's a 1K gold lead for TiltedBoys. It's nothing. It's all about education. Education. Initiation. I don't even know what words I'm saying. I'm tilting now from watching this.
Fear is tilted. That's not a good sign. That is not a good sign. Let's see who educates who, though.
Yeah.
You initiate well enough, you educate the other. Almost 40 minutes into this game 1 of this best of 1. The one to decide, do you stay in the TI regional qualifiers, or is your road over before it even began? Can be anybody's game still. I said the same thing 25 minutes ago. It still feels like it with all these small things, these small mistakes here and there. They're even afraid to take the Tormentor all the way through, knowing that Grim is moving around the area.
Where's my Venomancer? Please, Venomancer, sit next to your Venge.
But they're trying to go for the Morphling with a long-range initiation, but Brightside going to get swapped to safety. Pudge is also stunned around. There goes the Venge, but a beautiful two-man stun from Velotka. They're also slowed down. Snowball has to be used there, and he's going to have to roll himself back in onto the Pango. Gets the stun, but the BKB is already going to be popped. And they're trying to just corral and get away. Soul's nowhere nearby. So this is a losing fight for GRIN. So TiltedBoys, they got the Tormentor. They got a fight that they won. And they're feeling pretty happy about that.
The Pudge hook. This is something that... Oh, they
you found
Ricky
him
here.
Oh, the TP coming from Lotka as well, and so is Ferte for Ferte. Can he finish off Rojo Fireflu? Manta dodge, jumping into the tricks of the trade, going back to the Pudge, but no. Nowhere to go. Costly. He wanted to kill the Pudge so bad. He knows how squishy he is. Just got tag teamed.
Tag team is on dive.
Oh, that's another one. That's monkeys forever, but no. Oh, that was close. The Yules. The Yules fear. Oh, he lives thanks to that.
Trickster Cloak saved him too.
And the Trickster Cloak for sure. Morphling gets Moozy out. And again, another kill attempt unsuccessful. That's the second or third time in a row for GRIN.
This game so far has been all about two things. One, invisibility and detection. That's been a big one. Number two has been things like hook, nether swap, waller skip, repositioning abilities. And we saw in the top fight there, the Pudge, he got the hook onto the Tusk. And that allowed them to win that team fight. And the fights that have been good so far is when Venge gets a good swap off, and not a defensive one, but aggressive one. That's the whole point of your Aghanims, right? Like, you want to just go in there. You don't really care if you die. You get the damage reduction, so you're a bit tankier. Then when you finally do die, you have a second life. You refreshes all your abilities. You get more stuns. We're not really seeing that. We're not seeing Venge get the initiation. And what I've been harping on for most of this game is I want to see the swap into, like, a Walrus Punch or a Hex on the Veno. That's kind of why they bought it. They haven't been able to do that combination too many times, and it's really been hurting them in these fights. Whereas TiltedBoys, I think they got the memo of how this works. Just wait for a Pudge hook and go, or wait for TiltedBoys to do an initiation, get your BKB off on the Morphling, and then hit the counter initiation. So if they can't get that instant Hex onto the Morphling and kill him, it's really not going to work. But they didn't really have that option because this Morphling had the Aegis on him, which he still does for another 48 seconds. So maybe in 48 seconds, moving on here, TiltedBoys will have the opportunity to yet again try to make this combination work.
Talking about hero levels as well, Ferte, he's about to hit level 25. A couple big options to go for, extra HP in terms of strength or just a waveform cooldown. Big buffer for Ferte, considering all that burst that GRIN has. Counter it with more extra HP and you're good to go.
You're definitely got the waveform attacks cooldown. You want to be able to morph in, morph out, maybe or morph in again.
More survivability, also an option.
More survivability and damage. It's kind of
and
both.
Damage.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Ricky
Combos really well with like the level 20 talents of
Yeah.
waveform attacks targets, right?
That also works.
And there's a DD rune on the bot lane.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Who shall get it? Morphling with DD is pretty disgusting.
Might just be Velotka to pick it up. Already hits for
Not as
216
disgusting.
right-click damage, so Pango does hurt with that swashbuckle. It's better on the morph, but it's very good on the Pango.
Yeah, the DD doesn't really apply to Swash. It doesn't at all apply to Swashbuckle, so
Middle tower is under
that
attack.
won't help too much. But if he just gets in there and right-clicks them with BKB on, it could hurt. I definitely think Morph should have taken it. I think they're a bit lazy to not give Morph that. He could just bottle it right before a potential fight and just go in. But it is what it is. They're going to go bottom. Pango has it. And we're getting a bit of a stalemate at this point. TiltedBoys definitely a bit in the lead here, but I don't think this game is really going to be determined by net worth, as we do have a Pudge on one side, we do have a Venge and Tusk on the other side. These repositioning abilities can change any net worth advantage quite easily.
And it also feels like even if you get a great initiation, the counter initiation might even be better. So it's not even about who starts the fight. It really goes into small detail.
Definitely does.
Full-on smoke from GRIN Esports heading all the way to the Radiant Triangle. Nobody to be found. Soul wants to force them back by showing himself right in front of the Tier 3 tower. Meanwhile, TiltedBoys, Deity already popped off a Lotka. Hits for almost 500 right-click damage on this Pango. They're actually opting to TP back home instead of push towards the Tier 3.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Still can't finish it off. So the waiting game continues.
Yeah, I think we hit the stage of the game where both teams are no longer confident in winning the game, like, easily. And we're gonna see Vengeful die twice here.
Easy.
And by die twice, I mean the Aghanim's that creates an illusion will die on top of the real hero.
He could buy back.
But his illusion isn't alive. Come on, you gotta wait for illusion to be alive for that.
That is true. That is true.
But to go back to my point here, both these teams not being confident in winning the game, it basically just means they're playing the game at a tempo where they're just seeing what's going to happen. They're not really making any big plays. They're kind of like playing a bit more conservative. They're waiting to find openings like that Venge dying right there. That was an opening that they could use. And then, of course, Roshan. The earliest possible spawn can be in 5 seconds, but very unlikely.
Talking about how even this game is, even the win probability graph with a 10k lead for TiltedBoys says that this game is even. Dead even.
It very much so is.
And it feels weird, like when you say it, like 11k is usually an indicator of this team is obviously in the lead. They've got more kills. That also proves a fact on top of that. But no, that's not at all the story of this game.
Yeah, I mean, the way like net worth and everything works, kills, it scales, right?
Yeah.
And net worth means more the earlier it is in the game. The later in the game, less net worth matters.
Exactly.
Kills are like the opposite. The less they mean earlier on in the game, and the more they mean later on in the game. So when it gets to a game like this, where you get a bunch of kills in the early game, it doesn't really matter that much. And
Do you remember?
Not,
Do you remember a game that you've won where you've had less kills than the opponent, and you've had like barely any kills?
I mean, definitely. I remember games where I just never had a gold lead and I've won.
But if you had like 5 kills and you won the game.
Oh yeah, those are the games where you just like win one fight in the late game and you end up throning them.
Yeah. Oh, the hook comes out, but the swap's also there. Pudge is gone. Deleted. Gem down on the ground. They're going to finish off the Venge. They've also got a lot of stuff going on right now. Grab ally placed down as well, but it's too far away from the front. Ferte blinks in for the fight. Wants to take down this Tusk, but Tusk has the Ghost Scepter and kicks the Morphling away. The Venge stun coming out as well to play Roll Fireflu, now making his entry into the fight. Ferte wanted the gem. He wanted the gem, but he wanted to lose his life for it. He's down. Has to buy back. Has to join in. TiltedBoys. They're in trouble. Very costly defense coming out from then as Ferte just walks in to take out that gem, but it's not over yet. Pango gonna get hit by the stun, and look at Soul go hammering away. Finish us off that Pango.
If you're GRIN, you go back
away. The hook's not gonna connect either.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I mean, you could do a fake back if you want, but you just achieved everything you wanted and more. Lina still has BKB. You got 3 buybacks. Write the timer down. You can even be approximate as you want as well, like 54, 55. There you go. All their buybacks.
And Roshan is up as well. Every time it's been going for TiltedBoys when they want to fight or got a couple pickoffs. Might just be the same thing here as well. Pudge gonna get the jump onto the Tusk on bright side. Give it away. He's gonna come back with a buyback. Venge already blown up. He could
and
buy
here comes the
back,
pendulum.
but no. And
swinging back.
And now TiltedBoys could just take Roche again, and we're back in the storyline that this whole game has been about.
Venge does have buyback here, but the thing is, you didn't expend really anything there for TiltedBoys. TiltedBoys winning the fights that matter around the Roche pit. But they're not done here. They want to go in.
They go for the Undying. Wake me up. And there's the Aegis. Cheese on the ground. Refresher on the ground. They're going to take everything for themselves. And that's the fourth Roshan. And it's the fourth Roshan for TiltedBoys. And they're going to take the fight to GRIN. They're going to take down Salamander. Salamander 37. He's still without illusion. It's about to drop and it's gone. Wildcard chasing away. Going over Rojo. They're going to get the turnaround onto the Pango. At the same time, Lina being controlled. Soul needs to get repositioned. The force staff coming into play. Throws in the stun. Has no connection. Moose is going to be falling. Wildcard going to drive in straight with that rolling thunder. And the snowball coming out. Ricky is trying to get some save, some help for his teammates. But no, not for you today. Lina coming in with a buyback, but GRIN have lost too much. And TiltedBoys, Verte with the Ultra. And they are in control. They're in the driver's seat now.
Sorry, I'm trying my best to keep a straight face as you say Salamander salving.
It doesn't really feel like it, but at least for a while. At least for a while.
Okay. No, I mean, that fight was... there's a lot going on. There's a lot to unpack, for sure, on that one. I think the biggest mistake that happened there was the Tusk using the Walrus kick on that Undying, kicking him away from his team, kicking him out of the smoke screen, kicking him out of the tricks of the trade, saving his life a little bit, but Pudge coming in clutch with that hook, disjointing the last couple attacks from Lina with that Aghanim shard, saving his ally there, buying time to get that Aegis. They ended up losing the Aegis, they ended up losing the cheese, and using the refresher, so every advantage that they did have from getting that Roshan, well, guess what? It's all gone now. However, they did get a couple kills, and their net worth lead has gone up to 15,000 now. So, still looking good in the gold department, but yet again, story of this game, this gold doesn't mean anything. What matters is the initiations, the kills, what you can do off of winning a fight. And unfortunately for TiltedBoys, they won a fight, but they're back to hiding in their base. And I think a lot of that has to do with how scary the support duo is. You're just always afraid of being swapped. You're always afraid of being walrus kicked backwards. This Lina starting to look better and better as a pick now that the supports have really lined up, because like you don't have to go in first. You can just sit back so far, like 4 or 5 screens away. Then all of a sudden, you're in a great situation. I said write down the buyback timers. We got another 4 minutes where you don't have buybacks for TiltedBoys. This could be an opening for GRIN here to make something happen if you can get a kill on these key targets. But I guess you did expend a couple buybacks yourself there from GRIN, so I guess what I'm trying to say is this game's probably going an hour long, because both teams
Very
are
likely, yeah.
going to just wait for their buyback resets and then go again.
Yeah.
And in the meanwhile, we're just gonna have we're gonna chill out a little bit.
Yeah. TiltedBoys, they were in the driver's seat for the time until
I lied,
Korean,
they're going.
Respawned.
This Lina has no buyback. They're running into each other.
Okay. Could just be game over.
I don't know about
goes
this
into the back,
one.
but look, they were ready for it. They've got the aim just already popping out. Soul trying to stand his ground. Volotka's about to drop, and that Pango live. No, he doesn't. He's going to go down. They're trying to initiate onto Soul. Soul needs some help, and no! That's your carry out of the game. Bright side trying to make a run for it, but they're also finding on the right side for Monkeys Forever, trying to force them away. The Tusk is falling, and in the river, still chasing Toro. Fireflow tries to jump away with the tricks of the trade, gets used up, and the hook, it will pull Monkeys Forever instead of the Ricky. So Ricky lives, but right side will not. He's down. 3 for 1 so far. Maybe they can get the punch. They've tried this so many times, over and out, over and again, but not successful in doing so. Salamander trying to throw out these constant stuns out. And now Muzi gonna get targeted by Verte. Verte with a double kill. And GRIN Esports. Looks like they are pretty much at the end of the road here. Gotta have to defend without Lina for 80 seconds.
I mean, not Lina, just like the Venge Illusion and Ricky are the only thing that can defend at this point. We'll see how crazy things can get here. But we got to
hit hard enough. The Wave of Terror does do a bit of work here. Not sure if Verte realizes it, not popping the mantle right away, but it is what it is. Doesn't hurt too much. Keeping the creeps in the base, making sure that's the only wave that's pushing in right now, so they don't want to make the backdoor protection. Mistake happened before. Morphling in trouble and down! How do they do it? They somehow are able to get it. And now pummeling away onto door. Roa with that gem, chasing this Undying and able to get to him, but Wake Me Up, he's gone as well. Holy, this Ricky crits for 1,500 damage. Monkeys Forever, Yules to throw the Avenge away, and able to get out into the tree line, trying to teleport out, is successful in doing so. GRIN's not out. GRIN's not out.
They're definitely not after somehow killing Morphling in a 1 versus 4 situation.
Ricky was critting for 1500 with that Daedalus.
No, this hero is really good in the late game. However, I don't see why TiltedBoys didn't just end the game there, but the game will rage on. All they had to do is group up with a gem, protect their Morphling.
Yep. And that's another one.
Things could have been okay. Well, he has a
another one
buy
down.
at least.
Radiant's middle towers are under attack.
Gem down on the ground once again, but they already have one. They don't mind about it. Second lane of Rags to be secured. There's still a tier 2, but they're going to get the Hex.
Grab
ally placed down onto the ground. Saves him for the time being. Lina. BKB pop for Lotka. Aeon Disc will soak up the damage, but the swap coming out, getting a couple extra punches in, forces the Pango away. Venge about to fall.
They got monkeys here.
Forever. He's going to get pushed away, but Monkey's in trouble. He's going to get finished off. Yes, they will. That's another one. TiltedBoys. They're at the brink of destruction
going
right
for the
now.
win here.
35 seconds from Morphling, the second tier 4 tower. It's going to be going down, but the glyph is popped. And GRIN, they're still chilling. They're still staying in the area. They want to make sure that they get this as 4 versus 4, plus the Venge illusion. The throne is open, and now they can look for the fight. But Lotka half HP right now, trying to get the jump of Lotka down. Can they keep them away? Monkeys Forever pushed out the Hex onto the action, and that punch is gone, and so is the DP, and so is your TI run. GRIN Esports. Morphling finally back in, but is it enough? 1000 HP. What? They just cleaned them out. They got Bleed as well. They got Moody Canyon. They got Broho. 700 HP on the Ancients, and they're still fighting versus Brightside, but they hold. How do they do it? Verte came back in, and they just evaporated, but there's the GG call. It's not TiltedBoys, it's GRIN who calls it. Unbelievable finish to this game. I mean, this was a best of 1, but what a start for the NA qualies.